Hi, everyone. This is Lori McIntosh with Rustic Ranches Real Estate here in Auburn, California. And I'm here today at my friend's house. She let me come into her home, Liza Stephani, and she is an incredible resource for this area because she helps all these teenage kids with 4-H, and that's what we want to talk about. And she's also a fellow Rotarian. We're in the same Auburn Club of Rotary, and that's how I got to know her. So I just want to ask her some questions about 4-H because I really don't know a lot about it. I've missed out as a kid, even though I've ridden horses my whole life. And I kind of associate horses, livestock with 4-H. And Liza, first of all, let's talk about why you live in Auburn, why you love it. Go back.
I grew up in Auburn, moved here when we were just children, like early grade school. So we grew up here and we went away for college and immediately came back. Love this community, love the sense of belonging here and welcomingness of this area, and just can't get better weather in California, Northern California. So that's
true.
why we're here.
Okay. And how did you get involved with 4-H? And tell me what the 4-H's stand for.
So 4-H is a youth organization, ages school age and up, which is really 5 to 19. The H's stand for heart, health, hands, and head, heart, health, and hands. And it was developed in the early part of the 19th century to teach kids about agriculture, but it has created so much more than that. And now it's linked with the UC system. So it's all about educating kids in whatever is their spark. So it could be public speaking or robotics or farming, of course, or cooking or sewing, or really whatever a kid has their interest in. That's what 4-H is.
Okay, so it's kind of like Girl Scouts and the Boy Scouts, but just more extreme.
Sure. It's but unlike the Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts, it's linked through the UC system.
Mm-hmm.
So it is actually a government funded organization. So we get a lot more education type component to it than maybe some of the other groups. But we have a lot of freedom to kind of do whatever the kids like, whatever drives them. We kind of can do that, and but we also get the benefit of all the research and backed learning from the universities.
Okay, so what does UC stand for?
University of California.
Just in case someone's not from the
Yeah,
state
yeah,
or moving in from
yeah.
Las
Of
Vegas or
course,
something.
of course. Yeah, University of California. And 4-H is actually a worldwide program, but it's nationally, so it's always linked through the university in that state. So for us, it's University of California.
Okay, so the universities, well, there's UC Davis, which I would think would be a huge gravitation for a 4-H student versus another school that's not as ag related.
Yes.
Right?
So 4-H is much more than agriculture.
I know. I'm really
So,
trying to
but
get
everybody,
away
no,
from
and
that
that's
mindset
like
because that's all I think of.
you're
That's why I wanted to talk to you.
definitely not the only one. That's immediately people think cows and plows when they think of 4-H, but we really are really a youth development program. So the motto of 4-H is to make the best better. And obviously that is a broad blanket, right? So we want to take kids with any kind of spark, and or if they don't have one that they know of yet, we help them find it and help develop them into community leaders. And that can be through raising a prized animal for the fair and getting all the uh, growth and community organization, like community putting together that project. Or it can also be just like sewing a scarf and seeing it to completion, or messing up and seeing how you fix it and getting the positive accolades of that too. So it can be really anything that the kid and their family want to pursue.
I see. So, do the parents heavily influence their kids, or do they actually decide what they like, and where they want to go?
Well, what's funny is with kids, and this is, I've been a 4 H leader for 22 years, and like people can try to influence their kids all they want. But the more you push a kid to do one thing, the more they're going to do another. So that's the beauty of 4 H. We actually have 2 children. I love pigs. I love the farm animals, I have one child who would rather do just about anything than touch an animal. So he's much more into the camping projects and the leadership, and he loves the public speaking components. So, you know, it is definitely when the kids are younger, you kind of sign them up for what projects you think they'd like, but at a certain point, they kind of branch to where they want to go, and that's the beauty of it, is it allows them to go where their minds take them.
And not to go off on a tangent, but since you brought up your son, is he out of the country right now?
Oh yeah, I bet
What's he
Lori does.
doing?
So my son is actually in Sweden on a Rotary Youth Exchange, which is kind of how we got into Rotary. Is he came home one day. Funny story is link it through 4-H. Is that another 4-H'er last year went from our district, and they were at a 4-H meeting together, and she had gone to Austria, and she was like, "Oh yeah, this is I was gone for, or I'm going actually." I'm going to go for a year, and my 15-year-old son comes home and goes, "So mom, I read about this program that I can be gone a year, and yeah, I'm going to go do that." And we're like, "Oh, okay." Well, fast forward now, we have a kid who's only 16, and he's in Sweden for the whole year, and he's loving it.
That's
So
really nice. I'm glad you got to do that.
yeah,
And then you have who's your other child?
we
How old are
have
they?
a son named Joey, and we actually have one of the Rotary Exchange students living with us also. So we took in a daughter since we had a room because of our son leaving, and so we have Liv from Denmark, and then we have our son Joseph, who loves the animals.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go to Liv a little bit. She came here from Denmark, didn't know anything about 4-H,
Oh,
and
so,
what's your cat's name?
well, this is Sylvester, and he's real shy.
It's like I love to be really close to the camera. Anyway, so Liv's from Denmark. She came here, to live with you, and this is how I viewed it. As they're like, we're like, hey, we have this pig, we want you to raise it, and good luck.
That's
Of course, it's not like that, but tell me more.
It was a little bit like that. It was a little bit like that. So we get the child Liv's name like about a month before she comes, and I had got her email address and stuff. So I wrote her and said, "Hey, this is kind of what you're stepping into. This is what our family does. Do you want to do it too?" And that is raise an animal for the fair. And she's like, "Sure." The great thing about these kids in the youth exchange is they're really told, "Don't ever say no.
Be
just
adaptable.
just to do it, try it, and if you don't like it, then it's already over." And um, Cat's like getting into her stuff over here. So she was like, "Sure, let's do it." So we had a pig ready for her, and when she got here, so she raised it for the last like 6 weeks and learned to train it. And um, being a kind of a city kid from Denmark, she had never touched a pig, never like
I mean, most kids don't touch pigs.
no, most kids don't touch pigs. So she learned how to wash it, care for it, and walk it. And it was just an awesome experience. She ended up actually earning some awards in showmanship for novice showmanship. And it was just like my heart was full.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
And so I know there's a lot of controversy about with some people, like PETA, for example, raising animals and then eating them. But to me, I mean, it's so much better than having a mass produced pig. And I have had the opportunity, I think, from your husband to buy half of that particular pig. And I've never had bacon like that in my life. And my husband's British and a fan of pork. And so he comes up with all kinds of ideas, smoking it. And we actually interviewed the butcher, Elan, who and learned all about his business.
Oh wow.
And we talked about that versus mass produced animals and the care that they get. And it's like I've talked to people about this, and it's like, these animals know that their job is to sacrifice themselves for us, and it's like a privilege for them to do so. That's how I have to look at it, so I don't get all like, "Oh my god, a poor little pig is being eaten." I've gone through that stage as a teenager where I had to be like, I was a vegetarian,
I think we
And
kind of all have. I did
yeah,
even in 4-H with
really.
yeah, I mean, mine lasted probably like 2 weeks, but still, I thought I was gonna do it, but you know, it's part of.
I mean, we're humans, and for some people, protein source of meat is just it's really necessary. And
Mhm.
I think how did Liv handle that situation of knowing this pig was going to be slaughtered?
So she actually had no problem with it at all. In Denmark, it's kind of a meat and potatoes kind of country.
Yeah,
Oh, cat. No, he's beautiful.
he's
The
on the
cat.
other side.
Oh gosh. Okay.
Come here.
Oh, got a nice view of his butt there.
Let me make sure that's the one. Oh, we're just got tilted. That's all. We're good.
Okay.
Okay, we're back.
Back. Okay. So where were we talking about pigs and live and
Yeah.
so Denmark is kind of a meat and potatoes country, and
Yeah.
she was never like, I mean, vegetarian. I don't think she's ever even heard that word. It's just she had no problem with it at all. Um,
Any other kids that you've met that had that issue, or they just went in a different direction, right?
yeah, and a lot of the kids won't eat their own animals. Like, but they're not heartless. They raise these animals and they care for them, and but they still like bacon.
Yeah.
So
When they're selling them too,
yeah,
so
so they do
someone else
sell
that comes
these
and buys
these
them.
animals, and we always invite people to come out, and if you want to see what we're doing, come out and see. Like, these pigs have a great life and get pampered. A show pig is not a factory farmed pig.
No, I know. I've met a few. I came to the fairgrounds, and Nigel and I walked around, and these little, like, I feel like they're 8 or 9 years old. These kids would go, and they're all dressed up in their whites and their little tie, and they're like, "Hello, ma'am. Would you like to hear about my pig?" And they're so articulate and very well spoken. I was so impressed with them.
Yeah, we try to put a
Just
like
do a
a
great
a
job.
lot of emphasis on, like, it, the money on the project animal comes and goes, but it's really that learning how to market them, learning how to explain what you've done with the animal. That's really much more what it's about than just like the cash at the end, because that may or may not happen, right? It's an auction, so sometimes it's not as lucrative as it could have been or would have been a year before. So
Right.
um, but the kids learn so much and really link to the community.
That's great. So I guess 4-H started. I looked it up. 1900. In 1902, it was called the Tomato Club in
Mm-hmm.
Ohio, and that's where it all began in the
Yeah.
Midwest, and then I guess evolved across the United States. And I think California, I just wouldn't think it would be that big compared to like Nebraska and Kansas, Oklahoma, those states. I know yesterday you made an announcement that Placer County won an award. Just, I mean, we do have a lot of ag through the Central Valley, like Modesto, Fresno. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Madera, those kind of counties. Yeah.
Pretty much Highway 5
Yeah.
is ag. And here we are with Placer County, and you won some awards.
Yeah.
Tell us about it.
We have a county-wide project, which means we pull kids from all over the county, and they come and do, it's called livestock judging. And besides the very obvious, which is that they judge livestock, it's really a public speaking where they judge an animal, and then they have to, oh gosh, this cat is too much, where they judge an animal, but then they have to give reasons orally on why they judged the animal the way they did. So
Okay.
it's a competition that lasts all day. It is about a 7-hour competition where they just go from station to station to station and give these reasons about these animals in front of judges. My goodness, this cat. I had,
There we go.
for the record, I had offered to put this cat away, but Lori thought it was a cute cat, so
Oh, so cute. Oh my
he
God.
knows it. Um, so they actually won first in the state for their livestock judging, which was pretty impressive, because there's about um, 30,000 kids in 4-H in California. And although, of course, they're not all in livestock, and they're not certainly not all in judging, it's just impressive that they've climbed to that level
Yeah.
and that commitment. So
Where would you say the majority of the kids are from in Placer County? Because I honestly, I would think Roseville, Granite Bay, Truckee. No, I would just think more Loomis, Penryn, Newcastle, Auburn.
the majority of kids in 4-H are in those areas you said.
Okay.
Auburn, Loomis, those are the majority. Placer County 4-H is working really hard to kind of go out. 40% of kids that are in 4-H are actually in rural and sub-rural areas. Sorry, pardon me, in urban and suburban areas.
Okay.
So most kids are kind of in programs that are like through the schools and through community outreach type programs, and less these animals throughout the state. But just in Placer County, we kind of have more of an urban feel to our 4-H, which we're trying to work on. We're trying to get this program done in Roseville and move it down a little bit more.
Yeah, I mean, I know there's a big problem in the state of California with housing shortage. So each county is almost forced to come up with affordable housing areas,
Mm-hmm.
locations. And what makes me nervous is just losing land, a lot of land. And I'm a realtor, right? So it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, I like to sell houses, but I also love the space that we have.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to lose it.
Yeah.
I just know of a lot of towns that were very rural, and all of a sudden, all the strawberry fields are gone, and all the bell pepper fields are gone. It's like, okay, where's our food going to come from if you keep trying to keep up with the population?
Yeah.
And I know they have to live. People have to live somewhere, but maybe I don't know, stay in the city. But I used to live in. I didn't grow up in the city. I grew up in a beach town, but it's very conflicting.
Yeah, it is. I mean, and I think that Placer County is feeling a little bit of growing pains from people coming from the outside. I do feel that this community is pretty welcoming
Hmm.
to people coming from the outside, kind of saying, "Hey, just come and be part of our community. Don't try to bring your community to us. Like let us be part of your
They
community."
don't need to put gates up everywhere
Yeah,
and close off our fire escape access,
yeah,
which
and
has been a problem in my neighborhood.
yeah, we actually have building kind of all around us, like real big, fancy houses. Let me see, like 7,000 square feet houses all around us. But what has just been so awesome is that those neighbors they knew they were moving next to a farm, and they immediately called me and were like, "So I see you have pigs." And as someone who raises pigs, you're like, "Oh God, oh God, oh God, did you smell something? I'm so sorry." And they said, "Do you sell any? Can we buy one?" And
That's awesome.
it was so amazing to hear this person coming in kind of to our world, so to speak. That's now their world, and just embracing it and being like, "Hey, let's can't get much closer farm to fork than your neighbor's yard." So it was just really awesome. And now they have bees, and it's just been great. We loved them, and they're from the Bay Area. So
Oh,
it's
that
been
makes me
amazing.
really happy. I show a lot of homes over in Dark Horse Golf Community, and there's a huge pasture with cattle across the street from these $1 million homes plus mill
Yeah,
and 5,000 square feet. And I just think, please stay there. Don't take away that area
right.
because we need the
But
space.
I think the key is to realize where you're moving, and the reason you want to move there, right, is because of all that. Is because of
I knew you were going to do that.
um, the agriculture that's around and the open spaces, and just
Yeah.
um, let that community embrace you, and you'll
Fingers
embrace the
crossed.
community. Yeah.
Santa Clara County, Almaden area, I had a lot of horse friends that were kicked out because of the smell of manure
Yeah.
from new neighbors getting upset, and they had to leave, and it was heartbreaking. And these houses backed right up to Quicksilver Park, which
Mm-hmm.
is a huge ex mercury mining park,
Oh,
but really big and connects to all these other places. But houses are built right on the edge outside of it.
I think the key
So
is really to communicate, right? When you
yes,
move in, one of our neighbors goes, "So the flies are pretty bad," and we're like, because like we live here too, like we know, and we are like, eh. Because there's a month that it was kind of dicey, because of the summer and stuff. And we ended up getting like 15 chickens, and they ate all the bugs up. And so we just kind of like work kind of towards a more natural approach to it, and just work as neighbors. And it has been really nice. We have a lovely little street here.
That's good. So back to 4-H.
Sorry.
No, no. This is
Sorry, probably. Oh
these are
my
good topics to
goodness.
talk about. Okay, the phone is safe. The
Okay.
camera. Um, what do you envision for the future of 4-H with in Placer County continuing as it is? Will it evolve more into something else? Like you
um,
said, you're talking about expand more out of the areas that I mentioned, more down to Roseville, even though it's very suburban over there
mhm.
in
So
Lincoln.
uh, almost all the, not almost all, but quite a bit of the growth in Placer County is actually in Rockland, Roseville, the new developments, Fittyman Farm, all that stuff. So we want to move down there. We see, as a 4 H program, we definitely see the growth coming from school based programs and after school programs and things like that. So it will look a little different than the 4 H up here, but Placer County 4 H is going to be adaptable, and we're going to try to move and bring this wonderful program down to the suburbs.
Nice.
Um,
That's really important. So next weekend, I volunteered to be an interviewer. That is, I think, for 4-H, right?
mm-hmm,
That's what I'm
mm-hmm.
doing it with. Not just. I was thinking, is it just Placer High School? Didn't know what I was getting into, but I've done it before in Morgan Hill, where I used to live. I loved it, interviewing the high school kids. What am I doing?
Well, so these actually, I don't have a list yet, but it can be anywhere from 9 to 19. So it might not be high
Okay.
school. And it's an interview contest. So the kids actually have a list of jobs based on their age group that they're applying for. So they will actually make a resume and cover letter based on the job that they're applying for. So, like a younger child might be applying for to be a kennel assistant or something, or a park helper, like to help the maintenance people or some. So they're very like, based on kind of what the age of the child would be, and they apply for it, and you're going to actually ask them questions like they were actually applying. And so
Love it.
the idea is that they learn these skills on how to interview, because so many teenagers leave high school and have no idea how to interview for a job. And obviously we all get to do that someday.
Yeah, that. And do you know if high schools are teaching finance at all yet?
I believe they are, like,
I
but
hope
I
so.
think
It
it's
was
just like
pretty
a
brutal
drop
for
in the
me.
pan for I think the economics is kind of all one big class, and it's,
Yeah.
but yeah, we all need more of it. I
How
think they
to
need to have a
budget.
refresher like every 5 years, 20,
Yes.
25, 30, and then maybe every year after that. So we really
Right.
figure it
We
out.
don't need to carry out our parents' bad habits if they had them.
No, no.
My dad was an artist, so you can
Oh,
only
okay.
guess what it was like.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm excited about this. Looking forward
Yeah.
to doing it. I was sick last year, so I missed it.
Yeah. So you're wearing the
Um,
4-H green like color
I
already.
am,
We
and
both are. Look
yeah,
at
we're
us.
here for the month of March.
Yes, we are.
I'll wear this every day because it's. This is a 20-year-old coat.
Oh, that's us. It looks
Maybe like
spectacular.
1999, 25 years. I don't know, but yeah, I only wear it in March and April a couple times.
I
And
have a
it
red
goes
one
back in the
like that
closet.
I'm like, oh, I don't know when to ever wear it because it's like a bright red
The
coat.
month of February
Yeah,
and
it just,
December. You get
yeah,
both
yeah, yeah.
with your heated scarf.
Yes,
You're all
yes.
set.
I'm ready.
Well, so besides 4-H, before we finish up, tell me what you do for a real job where you actually get the paycheck
Oh, like the actual
that
paid
you're not
job?
getting volunteer hours in.
Yeah. So I work at Kaiser Roseville, which is our local Kaiser to this area. It's the only Kaiser in Placer County. So it's the main hospital down in Roseville. I'm a
Hmm.
nurse, but uh,
You're an RN.
I am an RN. Yeah.
And what do you do?
I work in labor and delivery. So if you come here and have a baby, you might
Mm.
see me. You're certainly one of my friends. We are one of the biggest labor and deliveries in Northern California. So we see a lot of people,
Wow.
a lot of babies.
Is it stressful?
It definitely has its moments, but it's a wonderful job and a
It's got to
wonderful
be
place to work.
rewarding.
And yes, we deliver about between 500 and 600 babies a month.
What?
adding to that population. But Kaiser
Wow.
Roseville services a pretty large area. It
It
services
is.
like a 4 county area. So
Right. I don't know if I could go. Okay. Well, obviously, it's not going to happen anytime soon since I'm in my 50s. But let's say I was pregnant. Could I go to Auburn Faith Hospital in
no,
Sutter and have a baby?
you could go to Sutter Roseville, but Auburn Faith does not have a labor and delivery unit, so you'd be stuck
It's
with
pretty
the
small.
maintenance guy catching your baby. So you probably don't. No,
How about Grass Valley? They
Grass
do need
Valley.
help.
Grass Valley does have a labor and delivery, but it's smaller. I believe they
Really
have
small.
like about 20 to 30 babies a month.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure that's what I last heard, but yeah. So it's a beautiful small community hospital.
Have you ever thought about being a doula?
No.
No.
Actually, when I was in my 20s, a friend of mine talked me into taking a doula class. So I did take a doula class when I was in my 20s. Um, but I, at that time, was an RN. So she,
You're
she,
like, that's a good to know
yeah, it's great. It's great
what's out
information.
there.
Yeah.
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 Well, thank you for your service. I feel like
Yeah.
being a nurse, I used to be an occupational therapist,
Oh, wow.
worked with head injuries. Unfortunately, I got burned out because it was the most challenging field,
Sure.
specialty to work in.
Absolutely.
And all my patients hated me and said they would like, they'd go, take me, the occupational terrorist is here.
Yeah.
And I'd
Sounds
be
about
like,
right.
I just want you to lift 1 or 2 pounds so you can get out of your wheelchair.
And yeah.
No, it was rough.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, people have tried to recruit me to come back, and I'm like, no, I'm done. It's like waiting tables. I can't do that either. Not happening.
Wow. That's a
Yeah.
lot to give up. I mean, you must love what you're doing now then.
Yes, I do. Yeah, I like the networking, like we're doing now. Love
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
So thanks for your time. Anything?
You're
Oh, how
welcome.
do we reach you with 4-H if someone has? They just moved in next door. They got a 9-year-old, and they're like, let's put them in 4-H.
Okay, well, so if you Google Placer County 4-H .unr, I can look up the exact. I should have looked that up ahead of time. But if you Google Placer County
You know what? I'll
4-H,
put it on the
and
in the notes
yeah,
in the YouTube
and
channel.
the Placer County 4-H, it comes right up. And my club that I work directly with is O for 4-H, which is OPHIR. A lot of people from out of town pronounce that Ophir, which is because Siri says it like that. But it's Ophir. If you want to sound like a local, don't say Ophir.
I've never heard that. I only know Ophir, thank God.
Ophir,
Very
yeah.
lucky.
So and that's our main Auburn club. But if you live further down the road, there's quite a few other ones. And then if you get towards Grass Valley, there's Nevada County 4-H, which has a lovely program also. So we are very lucky to have strong 4-H programs kind of in every direction. El Dorado County has a huge 4-H. Yuba Sutter has a huge 4-H. So no matter where you go, you can find in all of Northern California, a 4-H program that suits you.
Okay. Well, can I give you one suggestion to tell the youth for me? So, as a horse rider on the trails, if they love e-biking, mountain biking, just to say, "Hey, I'm on my bike. I'm riding by you," and just say hello, communicate. Because I ride Arabians, and they will spook very easily sometimes if something comes right around the corner. And I just want kids, says sometimes their parents don't tell them because the parents don't know, just to talk. And
Yeah.
as soon as a horse knows it's a human, they're good.
That's great to know. But, because it's funny, I've been in 4-H for 22 years and everyone always assumes that I have touched a horse. And although I have ridden a horse in a circle at a fair when I was like 8, I think you don't think that counts, but I do. I don't know anything about horses. So yes, that's a great information because just talk to them. Let them know you're a person. Okay.
That's it.
That's
Because
good to
they're
know.
hunched over on a bike, so it looks like a predator is coming at them
Oh,
in
wow.
their eyes. Because
Oh,
they've got their
okay.
eyes rotate, so they don't have the best vision like directly in front of them or behind them.
I did not know that. I had no idea. My
Yep.
neighbors have horses, and I say
I
this is the
saw them when I
perfect
drove by.
this is the perfect situation because I get my eye candy because I mean horses are gorgeous, right? But I don't have to feed them or scoop their poop. So I'm like, hey, horse. But they can still
go for a walk and give them a carrot.
Yeah. I don't even do that. I just like say, hey, horse.
Lucky you. But if you ever want to shovel manure, come over
Oh, okay. If
anytime
I
'cause I
want the
have
full
5
experience.
equines that are happy to give you some manure.
Yeah, I've got.
You can pick it up too. We might share it.
Yeah.
It's like black gold.
Yeah.
Yeah, so everyone, just a reminder, my name is Lori again. I'm with Rustic Ranches Real Estate. Love the rural properties. That's my specialty because I know all about septics and wells if you have to deal with that. Irrigation too. And then please subscribe to my YouTube channel so you can meet people like Liza and learn more about the community. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Have a great day with your